Okay, so frequency distributions. Again, this is something that helps us to detect patterns within the data itself. It's a collection of observations produced by sorting the data into classes and their frequency. So let's say we went around the room and we collected up a sample of the number of children in the family of origin. So if you were an only child, your number would be 1. If you were the middle child of 3, your number would be 3. And this was the data that we came up with. 7, 4, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 4, and a 4. So we have an n of 15, right? So this is a sample out of our class. So we have n equaling 15. Now, if this were a population, it would still be n equals 15, but it would be a capital N equaling 15. So starting off the frequency distribution, you want to do a basic stroke count. So you take a look at the data, and you're probably already looking at patterns. You're looking at it and saying, wow, there seems to be like a lot of 4s, and there seems to be some 1s are represented. I see a couple of 2s just at a glance. We can't help ourselves. It's almost intrinsic within us to look for patterns with numbers and with information and try to organize it. What we have here now is simply raw data, right? This is stuff that has not been organized. So we're going to take this raw data and we're going to start to organize it a little bit. Now you take a look at these classes. Well, the classes are the number of people in the family of origin. So let's start it off with a basic, what they call a stroke count. And you have undoubtedly done this before. So let's say you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are the classes based upon the data that we have. And then you just do a simple stroke count. Okay, well, how many 1s do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, well, it looks like 2. So let's put a stroke count there of 2, 1 and 2. And what about 2s? Well, we go through the data. We have 1, 2, 3. So it looks like we have 3 of those. So 1, 2, and 3. What about 3s? The class of 3. Well, we got 1. We got 1 here, 2. Looks like that's what we got there. So we have 2. So let's put a stroke count of 2. 1, 2. And how about for 4? Well, we got 1, 2. We'll get this one. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, there's a lot of those there. So we got to do a stroke count of 6 for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's a well-represented class. And what about for 5? We have 1, 5. Okay, so we have 1, 5. And 6s? There's no 6s. So 6s are 0 of those. So let's just put those there as a 0. And 7, it looks like we have 1 of those as well. Okay. We used up all the data, just double check. It looks like we have. So we have our basic stroke count. And if we add those up, the total should total out to 15. That's easy enough. What we don't want to do is leave it like that. Because in a presentation, that's not going to work real well. So with a frequency distribution, we want to organize this a little bit better. So since it's a basic frequency distribution, we're going to use class first over here. We have our class, and the classes are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we want to keep that like that. And we want to separate it out so the next column is going to end up being the frequency. So we indicate frequency by an F. And now, as basic as this seems, we want to convert this stroke count over here, the stroke count, over into the frequency column. So we have 1, we have 2 of those, 2, we have 3 of those, 3, we have 2 of those, 4, we have 6 of those, 5, we have 1 of those, 6, we have none of those, and 7, we have 1 of those. So at this point, we need to total this out. So we want to make sure we have our total down here, total, and the total is going to be there. And so we simply add this all up. And when we add this up, we should come to a total of 15. That's a 15. And 15, this total, should equal Rn. And that's a basic frequency distribution. You've done this before. You've probably done it 1,000 times. You've been going through your grocery list at home. You're taking a look. Okay, we have 7 boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese. Right, 7 of those. We don't need any more of those. We have no packages of Oreo cookies. Well, we need some of those. And we also need Fig Newtons because we only have 1 of those. You're doing a frequency distribution. You're dividing these things up into classes. And then how many are within each. So that's the basic frequency distribution. In the other videos, we'll take a look at other types. But for now, this is where we're going with this. So I'll see you in video 2.